Welcome, everyone. This is Polyfields, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO players. And here, it's going to be one of those nights.
It wasn't us.
Take two. Welcome, everyone. This is Polyfields, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO, and here, LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Sazwinda.
Hello.
Guarendas.
Hello, everyone.
Galabathian.
Oh, okay. I'm unmuted. Okay, hi.
And Krister.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And this week, our top story is that they have released update 30.1, which includes a few tweaks here and there, plus 2 new servers. So we'll begin with what we've got here: quests and adventure areas for the Midsummer Festival. The Midsummer Festival has been extended through July 11th. The event now turns off at 3 a.m. on June the 12th. This is so that the...
I was gonna say, wait, hold up. Gotta go back in time.
I'm sorry, Pan, I shouldn't have interrupted you. I just heard you say June 12th, and I was like, no, July. We have some time left.
Yes, July 12th for the Midsummer Festival in there, and they extended it because they wanted to give the people in the 2 new servers some time to complete the main deeds for the Summer Festival. And the Collections panel's Pets tab has been now accurately describes the sources of the Sunny Summer Kite, Midsummer's Comet Kite, Summer Flowers Kite, Soaring Bird Kite, Green Firefly, and Large Gondorian Kite, and Wedding Celebration Pony. Characters who lost and were unable to continue progress in the Flickering Flame deed should now be able to do so. The quest requirements for this deed have been temporarily reduced to aid in speedy completions.
Because people don't know how to act out there. I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to say, what is the Flickering Flame deed?
That's the firefly catching one.
Oh, okay.
Which explains why when I was looking at the deed last night for one of my characters, it's like, you only had to do it one time? I thought it was 2 times for each. That's why they changed it.
For the Blood of Azog, the Fall of Khazad-dûm, Durin's Bane can now be hit from much further away with cone and area effect attacks. Debris piles can now be hit from much further away with melee, cone, and area effect attacks. Fixed an issue that prevented the lockdown skill from happening in some cases. And Shadow Zone will now prevent and remove lockdown.
How much farther away can we hit Durin's Bane?
Much farther away.
So, like, I don't even have to be in the instance. I can just throw something and hit him, and woo, I get credit. Because that would rock.
I strongly doubt that they...
Only
that when they say much further,
cone or area of effect attack.
So a handful of stones instead of just one if I'm a hobbit. Okay, sorry.
Fix an issue that prevented the lockdown skill from happening in some cases, and Shadow Zone will now prevent and remove lockdown. Also, correct an issue with the turn-in NPC for the instance quest Bonds of Oak and Iron. And corrected an NPC phasing issue with the quest A Lesson Hard Learned.
So are they saying that Shadow Zone will now prevent and remove lockdown? Like, can we use that, like, offline? Because I don't want another lockdown.
Well... we can only hope.
Shadow Zone versus coronavirus.
Yes. For items, the chests of the threshold housing decoration will once more animate correctly opening or closing on use. The chest of the anvil housing decoration will now animate opening or closing on use. It can also now be placed in yard hooks as well as indoor furniture hooks. And the various reward chests for the anvil of Winter's Fifth Raid in Dandamu, the Bloody Threshold, will once again correctly animate open on use. And that completes the release notes. As I said before, they also opened up 2 new servers on this, Treebeard and Shadowfax. We discussed those as being upcoming servers the last couple of weeks, so we already discussed the concept of this. But they did make a note on landscape difficulty and the assorted deeds. And that is that when you go and do the quest and tell them to raise your difficulty in your landscape, once you do that, you are locked into the deeds that you have. And if after that point you reduce your difficulty to below that threshold before you gain the title that you're looking for, you will not get the title. It'll cause the deed to fail. Thus, once you go to them and take that quest, then don't drop it below the level that you're seeking a title for. For example, if you start out at Deadly +5, you could take it down as far as Deadly and still be able to complete the deed by hitting level 50. But if you bring it down to Hard, you won't be eligible for the Deadly deed anymore. So of course, you will still be eligible for the Hard deed. Just remember,
Well,
you
maybe
have
not.
to take the what?
So the comments here, and I haven't gotten to test it yet, but the comments here suggest that whenever you choose a difficulty for the first time, the other possible difficulty deeds are deleted, even if you're not level 11 yet. So you can't ever do them.
Ah, okay.
And
So that means you can't raise because if you take Deadly, you're supposed to get both of the deeds. I mean, you're supposed to be eligible for both titles if you're saying that if you took Deadly, took it down to Hard, it will get rid of, because there was only one deed involved with it, you won't be able to get either title. Is that what you're saying?
I haven't tested it, but the comments suggest that you should be very careful when choosing your difficulty.
Choose wisely. But you have to choose by the time before you hit level 11.
Yes, but you don't get to play with it at level 8 and 9 and 10 and then choose. When you choose, you choose.
Right. Yeah, when you choose, you choose. Yes.
Except Triple Death Life didn't choose. I didn't choose it. It chose me.
All right.
Actually,
yeah. Actually, yesterday during the lunch stream, Cordovan, just for giggles, took a character and he was in Archit. And he decided, apparently there's a ranger in Archit there that you could talk to, and that he talked to the ranger and he said, all right, let's see how I do in Deadly +6. And he decided, let's go after a Bristlehide.
How long did he last?
I don't have a stopwatch that goes down to that resolution.
The last thing I done was
so what happened,
Bristlehide.
So what happened?
He very, very quickly died.
The Bristlehide looked at him wrong.
Yeah, the Bristlehide dead. Yeah, he goes bump down. All right, well, let's try it again. Bump down. I think after the third time he says, "Oh well, I guess we're done with that." So yes, Deadly +6. Trying to solo Deadly +6 is challenging, shall we say?
Yeah, and spoiler alert, I think there is actually more than one ranger in Arquette that you can talk to at one point. I just don't know about what, yeah. I'm just saying. Once you get out of the introduction, I mean.
Yeah, there are several rangers in Archie. Well, when I was talking about ranger, I meant the new ranger that was there just for the quest.
Okay, because I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. I
having gone
wasn't
through
talking.
that whole beginning stuff,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can definitely assure you.
yeah. I was not talking about any rangers that may have been in the game prior to this update. I talk about this ranger that seems to be. He seems to be in quite a number of places because you run into just about any starting area, it looks like, and you're going to bump into him. And he, like, for example, when I ran a character I was leaving from Little Delving, and I picked up my post bag. And as I picked up the post bag and started running, boop, there, the ranger was right there waiting to give me the quest. Of course, now I'm in the middle of delivering mail, so
No time. I'll be back.
So I didn't have time for that. So I had to come back afterwards. So I guess there could have been a copy of him somewhere in Mickle Delving also. I didn't think about that at the time.
Those nosy hobbits. They're really deadly now.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had to have deadly +6 nosy hobbits.
Does that mean that our pies that we're carrying would also be very deadly, though? Maybe.
They're not spoiled. Oh, are we fixing to go into how we're weaponizing pies again?
Yes. Anyway, on another matter, they also noted that there are a number of complaints about the Eye of Sauron effect because apparently it causes a blur on the screen or something like that. And which some people found to be a bit of a problem. Cordovan noted a couple of things. One of them is that you could disable the effect if you turn off post-processing. So if it is giving you problems, you could turn that off in order to be able to do it. The second thing they're saying is that they are planning an update on this that I quote, we will be at least temporarily removing the visual effect on our next patch, most likely. So they expect to be not getting rid of the Eye of Sauron, getting rid of the visual effect that it gives for it, because apparently a lot of people did not like that visual effect.
Okay, so the only other thing I've ever heard of that you turn off post processing for is the drunk effect. So you're saying that the Eye of Sauron is like the drunk effect, but without all the fun?
Well, you got to remember, I think it's more of a dread effect than a drunken effect. You got to remember is that dread effects also affect the screen quite a bit. At least that would be my guess. I did not go up into the deadly levels. The highest I raised character difficulty to is hard.
So when the Eye of Sauron appears, we're actually getting to see it go very fuzzy because Sauron's drunk?
He is drunk with power.
I'm just saying, if it gets all fuzzy and we're not the ones drinking, there's only one other person.
Let's head to the LOTRO Beacon, issue 121, where we have the headpiece is from the Summer Festival, showing off some of the rewards for the festival. For our community spotlight, Shadowfax and Treebeard have opened, and you can read more about the new legendary worlds at LOTRO.com. And Deco Dumalu's latest housing weekend Middle Earth contest is ready for votes, and you could vote all the way through tomorrow as of this recording. Which means that if you're listening to this after we post the broadcast on Monday, it means you're a little bit late because deadline is July 4th. So if you're listening to this live, you still have some time in order to cast your votes. Paulsome Catastrophe has created a guide to getting LOTRO's festival dances, and you could get the video over on YouTube. And Mr. Hobbit's Adventures has written a guide for Midsummer Festival alternative dailies, and you can read more on the blog. Why do they say alternative dailies?
What's an alternative to?
Yeah.
If it were an alternative daily type thing to getting some kind of, I don't know, LI related scroll out, then yes, alternative dailies. But you know what? We ain't gonna go there. I don't want to get my blood pressure up.
All right. And then we won't worry about that. Then let's head to the Kin Hall, where looking for kinship on Shadowfax or Treebeard. The Kinship Forum is a great place to post about your interest or find a kinship. So, of course, going there would also be useful for any other server, but I presume that there will be quite a number of people looking for kinships on the new servers especially. Now, who would you rather hang out with? Shadowfax or Treebeard?
Shadowfax.
Why
Duh.
Shadowfax?
It's simple. First of all, he's fast, and secondly, he's got first of all great credit. He's got great street credit. He's got an awesome reputation. You can go to parties all the time. If you've been hanging out with Shadowfax, you're going to meet who? What? Gandalf? Yeah. And then once you meet Gandalf, you're in. Finally, if you don't understand, once you meet Gandalf, you're kind of at like fellowship level. You're there. You've met your burden-proofing life. In fact, you might as well just die right after that because so I don't want to meet Shadowfax because then I'd have no point to live after that. So never mind.
So you'll be faxing your shadow somewhere.
To be honest, let me rephrase this question. Who would you rather hang out with, a horse or a tree?
Oh.
I think I want to hang out with both of them. Maybe on different days.
There have to be different days because Shadowfax is probably not going to be too long in one place, and Treebeard. What's this
I don't know, though.
thing
There
you
might
call
be really
a
good.
day?
There might be really good grass around where Treebeard likes to stand.
Yes.
Like,
all right. So Louis has a point. Louis Nori has a point. He wants to hang out with Treebeard because he's got the good water.
All right. He does have the good water.
Be nice and shady. It's been kind of hot here. Not as hot as where some of you live, but
a little warm. Anyone else have any preferences? Then let's head over to the Fansite News. Louis 7 interviews Raninia in a wide-ranging Q&A, and you could watch or listen to that over on YouTube. And last week we reviewed Update 29. And LoTroStream is your first stop to find LOTRO on Twitch. This week, B4 teaches about plugins. Lady Fallorin heads into the vineyard, and Big Ed fights orcs and more. Also on Twitch, Mr. Deriv hangs with Gandalf. Hangs with Gandalf? What, he was hanged or something?
He met Shadowfax, duh!
he's hanging out.
Okay, it says hangs. Sound like he was hanging up. Heading up to a noose or something. Let's see. Glam Shatter Skull looks for Armalus and Zogok upgrades. And over on YouTube, Dragonfly Mage has Lothorian Avians. The one Zephyr runs T3 Fall House of Doom, and Andang gets an explosive job.
This person is looking for Armalus. That must be Legolas's cousin. And you know what's funny is that's probably something to do with it. That's where the name came from, probably.
Probably. And Les Duff Pigs recently celebrated their 5th anniversary. See screenshots over on a small piece of LOTRO blog.
That's awesome. Le Daft Pigs.
Let's head to our screenshot of the week, where White wears his gift to Arwen and Aragorn on the head in this week's screenshot. You can submit your screenshot for consideration for publication on the LOTRO Beacon by emailing it to lotro@standingstonegames.com. And that concludes our beacon for this week. So let's head over into our store sales. And Sans, what's on sale this week?
This week, well, first, this is your final weekend to get double bonus points. You can get twice the bonus points in the LOTRO store in-game through July 5th. If you're listening to this after it comes out, you might be too late. And our store sales are to make your piece of Middle-earth shine. You can have 20% off select housing decorations, select housing sets, housing property writs, and select cloaks. Which is always kind of weird that those are housing decorations, because they're not really. But they are included in making your piece of Middle-earth shine. And the weekly coupon code will get you a Tome of Defense for 90 minutes with the coupon code DEFENDING, now through July 8th.
Krister, I sense something. We've got foot coats. Now we need house cloaks.
Ooh.
House clothes.
Foot cloaks. Foot coats, foot cloaks, and foot kilts. How about that?
With that, let's head to our week in gaming. Calabathian, what did you do this week?
I was totally waiting to hear my name. I mean, I was kind of like, I'm not going to speak right now because he may call on somebody else just to mess with me. Didn't do much this week because of headset issues. My headset, the old one, has decided it does not want to work, and the new ones I've gotten, either the mic doesn't work, I can't hear anything, or both. And so we're trying to resolve this issue. But Calabathian, I hear you say, you're on right now. This is because my headphones actually work with my phone. So, yeah, we're using my phone right now. This is also why I may sound a little different. It's not because, I just decided to adopt a new voice. It's because, headphone and phone is kind of odd. And anyway, but because of that, on LOTRO, I ran the festival for the first time with my Girlsburg Heistja, and I regret not having a hobby horse because I missed the last time the curator was in. Completely forgot, wasn't able to get a hobby horse. Boo. So everyone else in Girls is running around on a hobby horse, and I'm on an actual horse, and I'm like, well, this is awkward. And then, of course, on Star Wars, Old Republic, all is well. My Sith are inquisiting. I'm not quite sure what the inquisitioning. I don't know. I've got a Sith Inquisitor, and then I've got a Sith Warrior, but my Sith are inquisiting and slapping things with lightsabers until they die, and nobody expects the Sith Empire Inquisition. There. Krister, how about you?
Well, so for the third week in a row, our Friday night has met with success in traveling back in time and defeating the Balrog on T1. Where it's a bit quiet in the kin right now, so we've been doing kind of looking for fellowship and world stuff. So we're not quite where we want to be for T2 yet, but we've at least got our tactics down, and it feels pretty sound. And with my struggles, because I am a tank, I just, you know what, I haven't ever said anything in anger about the changes to captains. Well, I've said things in anger, but I've never meant it.
You did
I
too.
just painted myself into a corner. No, so it's just, I don't usually complain about these things, but I would really like them to reconsider their change to Shield of Dunedain and to revert it back to how it used to work. Because not having that as part of my rotation is frustrating. It's very frustrating. And if you can't revert it, then could you give me a better reason than, hey, you guys are really good tanks, so we decided to punish you? Can you give me a better justification than that? And then you guys invited me to play Minecraft, and I really appreciated that. And now it's been a long time since I played Minecraft, and now I'm feeling the Minecraft addiction again. So, bah humbug on Minecraft. What a fun! It's such a fun game. I really, really enjoy it, and thank you guys for inviting me to play in the world. I really, really appreciate it. So, Guare, what have you been up to?
Well, this week in Middle Earth, I hear Minas Tirith is lovely this time of year. Girls ran about, and then Gwar and the Captain Festival until he got the Flickering Flame title. And now the Hobbits are running it for fun and fireworks. Um, the Festival of the White Lady last Sunday went off without a hitch. Thank you so much to all that came out and supported us and joined in the fun. And special thanks to Anduin Ensemble too for letting us crash them as an after party. They've let us do that the last few years. That is actually on YouTube. I don't know that anybody unfortunately recorded the parade this year. I was kind of hoping they would, but it went off really well. It was a great deal of fun for everybody. So yeah, thanks for everyone who came out and supported us. Elsewhere than Middle Earth in ESO, I did a little bit of Cyrodiil on a couple of characters, and a little bit of Daily Endeavors, and took the Stamina Nightblade, who is champion points, and Linleaf, who is one of Sanswinda's characters, Warden, and Linleaf, I think, was 48 when we started, 47.
I think I was
48.
48. I think I had just
Yeah,
turned 48.
Yeah. And we discovered that we can do the group event bosses and starter dungeons, which are usually supposed to be designed, I think, for more than us. But
Oops.
between the companions and me being Nightblade having damage, and she's a warden since she had a bear, and I think she's Magicka, so that's even more powerful. Yeah, we did the boss in Badman's Hollow, and then discovered, oh, hey, that was the group event. Whoops. And also discovered today, because the whole reason I wanted to do Badman's Hollow was to get a lead for there are antiquities that you can scry. That Pineleaf and I think even Sans has talked about scrying and finding antiquities. But I'm trying to put together, if you find 5 different pieces, you have this wonderful piece of gear called the Ring of the Pale Order. And I've been in there twice. And each time, the other person, including this time, got the lead that I want for that ring. So, so I at least went today and creeped around Blackreach Caverns, which I'd started in Western Skyrim, and then I discovered, oh no, what I need is in the Reach, and crept around there and unlocked way shrines and got the one lead out of there, and then went to Alakir and killed a delve boss and got another lead, so I only have 2 more leads. Fingers crossed. But the Blackreach Caverns are amazing. I was running with Luinori right before the stream, and he said words that you would not believe. This is Luinori Stoutshield, dwarven captain of our kin, the leader of our kin, who said that this is what Moria should look like. It is actually really amazing underground area. So if anybody's ever in ESO and hasn't went there yet for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be too tough or something, you'll be fine. The paths are good. Just follow the road like in LOTRO, but go and see it. It's awesome. Sans, what did you get up to today? Or well, let's skip today. How about this week?
Well, this week I started the week with enjoying a parade and all the dancing and music in Bree with you. And then ran around Minas Tirith with the girls in Middle Earth, also with you later that day. It was fun. And then I helped provide decor and ambiance for an important council outside Minas Tirith with the field trip. You know, I've heard rumors that way back in the battle of the the Great Alliance, there was this
Final Alliance.
There was this hobbit
The Last Alliance.
who attended a council without anybody noticing that she was there. And so, following in her footsteps, I hid myself alongside a dwarf, and then tested various hiding places around the room, and finally settled on one where my mount and I could become part of the decor, and nobody would know we were there. And then the dwarf set off fireworks, and Pineleaf's hunter very helpfully set off dwarf candles the proper color to illuminate the proper speaker, and then our lore master moved the conversation along for us and kept things moving. We had a practice run, and then we had like a final run, and I'd say that the final run was even better than the practice run. We had a glorious council meeting going. And yes, my horse's head became part of the Rohirrim banner. It was awesome. There was a horse head sticking right through the banner, and it just like it belonged there. Nobody noticed. It was perfect. And
Does everyone put one there?
well, I mean, that's where it should go, right? Right over the Rohirric party, providing the needed ambiance and the occasional neigh. Hopefully they don't take it as like a sign of disapproval, but wait, why did you say nay at that moment? I didn't say nay. Did you say nay? No, that sounded like a horse neigh. Oh, it's probably from outside, you know. But yeah, that was fun. And in Minecraft, I successfully built my first iron farm, and it was, well, I only set myself on fire once while doing it. So that was a good learning experience. And I managed to jump in the water nearby before that turned deadly, but it was close. And then I got it all built and invited 3 villagers on a glorious cruise to this Hotel California-esque stop, where we had 3 lovely beds for them, a nice safe little room. Yeah, it's set up beautifully. And they walked away from it. Might have had something to do with the phantoms that were screaming at us. And then we caught them again. And Greymaster and I, like, we made a water path, like, all the way to where we wanted to go. We discovered that you can row a boat on the grass, thanks to Pineleaf, and that you can actually go, like, from a higher level of grass to a lower level of grass without breaking the boat. So, like, we convinced some villagers to join us on our cruise ship in our boats, and we rowed them down our little path, our little waterway, and we finally got 2 villagers to stay in the house, and it was amazing. And and then we caught 2 zombies, and one of them worked, and we have an iron farm. So yeah, but I think our cruise line was most popular before its first stop because we lost several villagers to walking back to their own village because they were tired of the cruise trip. So yeah, and I've spent some time running around in Cyrodiil in ESO this last week, and it's kind of fun. And I've decided that the Nightblade is actually the class that I like to run around with most in Cyrodiil. She might be really squishy right now, but she's got all the things slotted to go quickly in stealth, and it's kind of fun. And then I did my first public dungeon on my warden, who's now level 49, thanks to that trip. And yeah, I just charged into the bosses and didn't even realize there was a group of going. So, oops, that was fun. And I think that's about all. How was your week, Pine?
And I'll begin with my honor warden, who headed into the wastes and doing all those fun things you do. More jobs for rangers. I think that's what it pretty much comes down to. And now I'm trying to work with a lore master who apparently there is some spirit that mistakes him for his brother or something weird like that. Then over in Minecraft, I learned that an iron farm might not be the best place in which to deal with pillagers. Because what happened is we seem to be getting every other day just about where a group of pillagers pop in and we have to deal with them. And of course, this time when we were just setting up the iron farm is when the latest batch of pillagers came by. So of course, whenever they do that, they call me in to fire a few arrows at the pillagers to help take care of them. And wasn't quite thinking about the possibility that if I killed the banner bearer while next to the iron farm, that the game will consider the iron farm to be a village and will thus set off a raid.
That was really funny.
Right. Thus, right after we killed them, we started to see a red bar fill up as a raid of pillagers was preparing. Fortunately, we built this iron farm on an island, and the pillagers were always spawning on the land on the other side of where we were. So they will spawn on the land on there. So they would have to cross the water in order to get to us, which helped us a great deal. I don't think I could have possibly have thought of a more defensible location in which we could held that. So we survived all 5 of them and got the hero of the village title and all of that. Those Ravagers, they just couldn't get across the water. And in fact, we managed to kill the evoker before I realized that there was an evoker in the area because I got a totem of undying. So I know there was an evoker in there in that group somewhere. But anyway, we managed to survive a raid in there, and I think that was relief on that. And we know that perhaps if we're not looking for a raid, we should make sure we're not on the island when we kill some pillagers, and make sure that before we go back to the island, we drink a little bit of milk to get rid of the let's start a raid as soon as you get there type situation. Then over in ESO, I cleared up several loose ends in Alakir Desert. Sandswinda and I finished up the main quest line in Alakir, and I stayed around a little bit in order to take care of some of the side quests that we did not cover while we were questing together. I think I've got only 4 quests left, and I know at least one of them is one of those. Wait a minute, this is a finally unfriendly quest. I'm not going to do this, like saying, yes, all I want you to do is to do this highly illegal activity for me. How about that? That's right. Khajiit was trying to convince me that, oh, yes, all I want to do is I want to steal some things from the docks while, of course, she didn't word it this way, steal some things from the docks where we have all this mayhem from the undead going around. I mean, this.
Interestingly, that might have turned out to be more of a friendly quest than you thought.
Oh, it is?
You have choices you can make.
Oh, I have choices I can make. Okay, I didn't think about that possibility in there.
Just dropping that in there.
All right. Well, I still have a few more quests to do, so maybe I'll just go back there and try it if that's the case. But anyway, I finished that up and have a few more in there. I also did some playing with my baby sorceress, which I had created last week. And see, I think I finished. Did I finish up Kenneret's Roost this week or last week? I got to think on that one. But on top of Kenneret's Roost, I also started the quest line in Eridon, and we're trying to do that. And I also was trying to think of what do I do for, let's say, pets or whatever to go with me, because I decided that I was going to try a sorcerer without summoning any Daedra. Now, if you'll know that pretty much that completely, absolutely disqualifies one line because it's all about summoning Daedra. And of course, you're a pet class, and the pets that you have are all Daedra because they're the ones from that line. So I'm completely ignoring that specific line. The other line is, I think, called something like the Dark Magic line or something like this. So, of course, I'm leaving that one out also. So that leaves me with only one of the three trees of the Sorcerer line. And I'll probably have to wind up using weapon skills in order to fill in the rest of what I'll be slotting in there. Maybe also throwing in some soul magic skills. I have to see what I do on that. And see how far I could go along and keep to that one, because I have a feeling it's going to be rather challenging as I go on. But then I decided, well, I could at least bring a companion along for my questing that I do on there. And while I'm trying to do my quests as in order for zones and all that as much as possible, I said, all right, what I'll do is I'll make sure I ignore everything else at Blackwood, and I'll go and do the companion unlock quest. And I get to the end of that quest, and I said, well, nothing happened. I said, well, why didn't I unlock the companion? Oh, what do you mean it's unlocked account? Why did I need to do that quest? Oh, well. So a little bit of lesson learned there is that, yes, you can summon any companion you want once you've done it on one character. And that concludes my week in gaming. Our top supporter this month is LOTRObuild.com. LOTRObuild.com is a collection of full LOTRO databases, including an items database, and relics database, and a titles database. And you can use it right from your Discord server with a LOTRObuild bot. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you could go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money would be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast at LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Arendis at Arendis, Piney at Piney News, Sanswinda at Sanswinda, Terry Edwin at Terry Edwin, Guarendis at Guared, Calabathian at Calabathian, and Krister is mining iron in Minecraft.
That's right. In fact, I have a lot of iron that I'm going to give you guys tonight.
Whee! Oh. Well, I thought to get some iron just by resting near the iron golem farm or something.
Thanks for ruining my surprise.
The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Players News. You can source our shows at lotrplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Piling Duels reminding you to skirmish responsibly.